All right, guys. So this is about compound interest. The last time we did questions just simple interest. Right now we're going to be treating the questions to compound interest. So this is where I'm going to be comparing the difference between simple and compound. O tlo lemoga through these activities that the simple interest, our money takes a very long time or even or in other words, it will very slow, whereas compared to compound interest, compound interest yona e gola ka pele. So we use this formula to calculate the compound interest. A is equal to P into 1 plus I to the exponent of n. Now the values still mean the same thing, whereby A it is still the final amount and then P is still the principal amount. Now please, if you didn't watch the first videos, let me write the first amount. If you don't know the things that I'm writing, make sure that you watch the first video, it's just simple interest, or else you're not gonna understand what's going on here. And then we have the I, which still stands for the interest. Now I'm gonna highlight the difference between that formula and this formula. And then the N, it's still the period. So without wasting any further time, you can retreat this question. This one says John invested 100 Rand with 13% interest compounded yearly. Now, when they say compounded yearly, they're just telling us or guiding us, or we're going to be using the compound interest formula. Remember that time in maybe 13% simple interest per annum. This one says 13% interest compounded yearly. It just guides us or the compound interest formula. And then they say, how much will he have after 15 years? So let's go lay down our data. So they say John has invested 100 Rand. From the video just before, we know that this means, or this is our initial amount, is our first amount. The money invest. And then they say 13%, that is our interest, that is our compound interest. They say, how much will he have after 5 years? So they've given us the period of this investment, or how much will this person have after 5 years. So I'm gonna go and write down my formula. A equal to P into 1 plus I to the exponent of n. That's our compound interest formula. So A gets P, it's 100. This person has invested 100 in his bank. Then 1 plus my interest is 13%. Remember, just like in a simple interest, our interest as decimal, not percentage. So I'm going to convert 13% into decimal, divide by 100. Then raise it to the period 5, and I write 5 over there. Then you can just straight ahead press your calculator, where 100 into 1 plus 13 over 100 to the exponent of 5, and then you are going to get the value of 184 Rand 24 cents. Remember to round off your answer to 2 decimal places. That is your answer. What are Mutoki, because Ujeri loan, investile 100 Ranta, Kara bank at 13%, compound interest. After 5 years, Mutokara bank anali 184.24 cents. Compared to your simple interest, if you use your simple interest, whereby globally 100 into 1 plus 13 over 100 multiplied by 5, o tla bona re 165 rand, and 165 rand compared to tšhelete re kry-ile no, so 165 ye ke ya simple interest, ye ke ya compound interest. Which one is bigger? Ke ya compound interest, and re šomišitše di-value tše di-one. O sa investile 100 kore it's like two people mo. This is 165. This one o investile 100 ranta ka compound interest ya 13%, o invest 100 ranta ka compound ka simple interest ya 13, mara ka mokana ga bana ba šomišitše 13%, mara o wa ka mo šomišitše compound, o wa ka ma šomiša simple. Wa bona after 5 years o ke ena tšhelete ya ge tla ba eng gotše go feta ya oke. So this guides you and just advise you whenever you are doing investment, just compound interest than simple interest, because simple interest it will very slow. But this is our answer anyway. This one says took a loan of 1,900 with 20% compound interest per year. I think it's missing per year there. Calculate the amount that will be paid after 10 years. So they've given us this amount, the 20% and the 10 years. So let's lay down our data if we were like here. So Barry, you took a loan of 1,900. You took a loan. This tells us, or this is the first amount. Ke tšhelete mathomo. E se mathomo nga statement. Ke tšhelete ye a thomileng ka yona. O tlo kgopela loan ya 1,900. Therefore, we consider as the first amount. So with 20%, we already know what that is our interest, compound interest though. Note that. And then calculate the amount that will be paid after 10 years. So after 10 years, o tla ba a kolota bokae ga jere compound interest at 20%. So I'm gonna go ka shumisha formula yaka. A is equal to P into 1 plus I to the exponent of n. So what is my P is 1,900. Remember A au naga. So then 1 plus my interest is 20%. I have to convert it. So I'm gonna say 20 yela, I divide by 100 to convert it to decimal. Then the number of years get 10 years. But fill in years, so I get a good converter. And then just use your calculator. 1,900 into 1 plus 20 over 100 to the exponent of what, 10. And then that's gonna give you the value of 11,764 and 30 cents. Remember, you're rounding it off to 2 decimal places. The original number here is 299, but at 2992. And I think right now you know how to round off. Ne? When you round off to 2 decimal places, this is the second decimal place that we're talking about. Rounding off. So to round it off, level a number before you on. If this number is above 5, is 5 or above, then we add a 1 to this number, the second decimal place. If this number is below 5, then release a number remain at the same. 0. Okay, so in this case, number is above 5, so we add a 1 come. Marere add a 1, height over 210. Because you change about 10 or add a 1 to the next number, about 3. And because really 2 decimal places, or are really 2 digits after the comma. So we can 3 fell or 0. This is not 30, this is 30. Okay, that's why L 30. Just if ever we kushishi guys, try your level best to understand rounding off. Unfortunately, I don't have the videos rounding off yet. But this is the answer. Mutoki a jere loan ya 1,900 ka 20% compound interest after a ka ja 10 years a sa e patele. Ngwaga wa bo 10 yo e patela o tlo e patela as 11,764 rand 30 cents. So wa bona gore compound interest e gola ka pela. So you must make sure investor, yes, ja compound interest, but go ja loan ja ya interest in simple interest, because compound interest you're not global go patela. So you can see what compound interest e hola machonesa, because mo ba to benefit am, because apo ka ja this amount e motho a tlo e patelang 11,764,30 wa minus a tšhelete a ikolotišitšeng ya mathomothomong, gape machonesa ba tlo kry-a profit ya 9,774. So wa bona gore it's a huge profit. Ne? Let's look at another activity. Now this one says that an investment is made with interest of, let me mark down, an investment is made with interest of 11% compounded yearly. After 8 years, 15,000 was saved. How much was the interest? Oh, sorry, how much was the invested amount? So what does this tell us? Let me mark down my data. So re na le statement sa rena se re an investment was made. So motho re sa mo tsebeng o ile bankeng a ya a investa tšhelete kwa bankeng ba mo faneng interest of 11% interest, compound interest. So but after 8 years, that is our period year investment. After 8 years, motho o rile a checka bankeng a kry-a le gore o na le 15,000. And now is that the P or is that the A? That's the A, because ba re botsa gore after 8 years, ka morago ga 8 years re edile interest yela and everything. Motho o kry-ile a na le 15,000. Now ba re botsa gore how much was the invested amount? Motho ke o investile bokae? What is his initial amount? O tsentšhitše bokae ka molagare ga banka the day a ya go investa? Ke re ba re an investment was made. So rena re no go tseba gore ga ba ya go investa, o investile bokae? So you're gonna go there wa šomiša formula ya gago. Guys, understand gore the reason why re šomiša formula e ke gore re na le everything except the one that we're looking for. N re nayo, I re nayo, P re nayo. I mean, A re nayo. What we're looking for ke P. So re ka kgona go tšea P ya rena ra idea subject of the formula. That's why re šomiša this formula. Now, we have our A, our accumulated amount ke 15,000. Ngwala over there in the place of A. P ya ke tsebe, so I'm gonna leave it alone as that. Then into 1 plus, my interest is 11%, so get converted to decimal. Remember, you're not always going to be given as percentage, but can offer in decimal. So I offer in decimal, like maybe 0.11. Was can convert, it's ensure the formula so. But I can 0.11%, then you convert before we enter the formula, or we convert le go dima formula like e ka mo go dirang ka gone. Then you close the bracket, the number of years is 8 years. So we naka P, I get. So what's to remove Hobali P or Shalaka P, we have to remove this bracket. So bracket here we remove a obviously G bracket here I transpose. So Ravana or P this bracket here multiply or we can remove this bracket by dividing kayon. Redivide this bracket so that they cancel. Kana mkhono bracket e beng ka ona a o shi sela o shi 8 yela a o shi 1 you write it come kana ga yona so that this whole bracket e cancel this whole bracket re kgone o shala ka that P yela re nyaka. And whatever you do on the left you must also do on the right. So I'm gonna say 1 plus 11 over 100. This is pure algebra, guys. Algebraic equations. So this bracket you cancel this bracket re shala ka P yela rena re nyakang. That's good. And then on this side, you just press the calculator. Kana mkhono ibeng ka gona. Au shi selo. You say 15,000 divided by 1 plus 11 over 100. And then all to the exponent of 8. And then we get the value of, write it here. We get the value of 6,508 rand, 90 cents. That is your amount. What is this? Is this an investment? Yeah. So what are Mutoki? Ka ngwaga wa mathomo o ile go investor a investor 6,508 rand 90 cent, and then after banking ba mo fa 11% compound interest. Then ka morago ga 8 years a kry-a le gore o na le 15,000. So wa bona gore yei e gotse and so if ever motho nka tšere simple interest ra tseba gore nke tšhelete ya gage right now e sa tla bo ma 5,000 e sa tla bo ma 7,000 something. So you can see compound ka di-investment ya thuša because nagana motho investile this amount of money then mafelong ga 8 years a kry-a 15,000. That is a lot of money, guys. This question says 1,100 rand loan was taken with an unknown compound interest. So it's 1,100 there, 1,100 loan was taken with an unknown compound interest. What was the interest charged if 3,400 was paid off to finish the loan after 6 years? So what this statement is telling us, gore motho shwena o ile bankeng or o ile mo machoniseng a fitlha mola a ya a gopela a loan of 1,100. That is our principal amount. because waja o tlo e kgopela a tla patala sale again, so o tlo e kgopela, and that is our principal amount. So ba re motho o ile mola and then matšhonisa go ba banka ya mo charger an unknown compound interest. Ga ba re unknown compound interest a ke ra ba re gore matšhonisa o mo file compound interest ye ena a sa itsebeng matšhonisa o mo file compound interest ye le goreng rena re balang question a re e tsebe, so a re tsebe the interest that was charged. So ba re what was the interest charged, re ne ko tseba gore ke eng interest e ba mo chargileng yona if mothoki o patetše 3,400 ka morago ga 6 years. This is what the statement is telling us. Or what was the interest charged if 3,400 was paid off to finish the loan? Ora re no go tsa re mothoki ba mo chargile interest ya bokae ka gore gape re a bona gore a patela 1,100 o patetše tšhelete ntšhi ya 3,400 after 6 years. So ora re gabotsebotse matšhonisa okay o mo chargile interest rate ya bokae. That is our job to find out. So re A equal to P into 1 plus I, they said compound interest, so re tlo šomiša the compound interest formula. No, o tlhokomele guys gore ba re compound or re simple na. And then do I have my A? Yes, I do. Ba re motho o patetše 3,400 mafelelong, and then 3,400 la mathomo o tšo tša loan ga yo tša loan ye ba mo file 1,100 into 1 plus interest ya ka ke e tsebe ke tlo e tlogela SI, and then number of years ka e tseba ba re le o patetše after 6 years. So ra tseba re ge re nakana le anything inside the brackets re remove the value of P pele. So I'm gonna divide ka the value of P, which is 1,100. Whatever you do on the right you must also do on the left, right? And then now these two will divide each other ka šala ka bracket ya ka ya 1 plus I to the exponent of 6. Then this side is not a master Rudic calculator, but you can do it. Where 3,400 divided by 1,100, and then it will offer the value of 34 over 11. I would advise you gore o ngwale as a fraction yes so than gore o ngwale ka di decimal, because you must never round off your answer before the final answer. I guess final answer re sa calculate, so I was now round off selo o tla rounda off mola mafelelong re tseba a re sa ya go calculator re kry-ile answer rena. So ma re tla re kry answer, don't round off, e ngwale as a fraction like this. Now we are looking for I, right? Re ka se one here right transpose one is le kare ga the bracket, so we want to remove this bracket. The brackets tse kana di tlisitse ke 6 ye. Why ke re tlisitse ke 6? The bracket tse ke tsona tsa gore bontsha gore this exponent ya 6 e belonga to the interest e bile e belonga to that one. E re ka tosha the bracket 6 ye ke a isa tlo ba ya 1 e tlo ba ya 6 fela, and that's incorrect. 6 ye ke ya both 1 and I. So how are we gonna remove the 6? I will remove by the root this way, like this. Root remover like this. Well, why remover root? Root into exponent, guys. This means over this root you can cancel this exponent, then ra gona o shala ka 1 plus I. Wa bona 6 ya labelo e tlogile le bracket. So re shitse ka 1 plus I. Then ka moki just leave it like this, because o ka re press ka calculator it might give you a long decimal. And remember, if you offer a long decimal and no go ngwala we ngwala ka moka decimal you wing 0.555 what the ngwala ka moka decimal you wing, because ara tlhare ke ra answer rena again. So now I'm looking for I still, so ke bona gore I have to remove this one, and one ya plus again, and you know go na number or ya plus or ya minus you can transpose it. So now I'm gonna transpose this one Aisha to the other side of the equal sign, 34 over 11, and then I'm taking this one to the other side. It is positive, or if it like negative 1, then equal to my interest. Now you say interest equal to, then you press this whole thing kamagare, you do that symbol, and then it will offer 0,206 blah 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 blah. O tla engwala ka moka. Why ke re o engwala ka moka? Because we are not done yet. Remember, I said to be on a safe side. A se moka ba re botsa re bana ka in percentage, but rena a re be in percentage. For if the memorandum comes saying ba maka percentage, then even wena you have that percentage. So let's say I equal to, then go check this number 0,206 blah 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 blah. Wena o tla ba o engwala ka moka. Ka calculating ya go ka no re answer that button a ngwala re answer. I get answer ya go e sa tshwere 0,206 what. And then you take that that number, guys, multiplied by 100. So when you multiply by 100, you get the value of 20,62%. But I like to round off my percentage into the nearest whole number. So every rounded to the nearest whole number, level a number mafelelo before after the comma, and then it's above 5 or you add a 1 kamuki. So ravali 21%. Or this person was charged 21% interest or above 3,400. Guys, the thing they bekizama go tlhalosa asio. Level this part, b to the exponent of 5. Now what I'm looking for is b, so I have an exponent of 5. This is an exponent, it gets divided by 5. You can say transpose. Actually, it is possible to transpose it, but not under your syllabus. So what I'm gonna do, to remove an exponent, remove a root. So you're gonna say the root of 5. This way, this root cancel at this one, then reshalaka b. Why does this work? If the laws of exponent, if I was to write something like this, in exponential form, in order b, where exponent ya divided by exponent ya ka montle. Ka montle ke ra tseba gore square root se emise le so go na le 2 so it tla ba 1/2. So why re exponent e remove a root? Ge o ka ngwala something like this, ka re ngwala in exponential form, o tlo re b where exponent ya ka mogare divided by exponent ya ka montle. So what is that? Ke 2 divided by 2. And what is 2 divided by 2? Ke 1. And what is a number raised to an exponent of 1? That number remains the same. So bona re shala ka b la re nyakang. So o ka se ngwala di step tse ka moka tsa go bontsha the exponent and all that. When I just know that ge o na le exponent like in this way ya 5, all you do gore we raise it to udia root ya go tshwana le that exponent. So what are if ever only a to the exponent of -7 and no go entsha o tlo dia the root of -7 gore de cancel ana o shale ka a ya gago. A re lebelleng ka mo re na le 2x squared. So re na le 2x squared re na kana le x. First of all, you can include the root already, mara because you have a coefficient, I would advise you to remove the coefficient pele. So go remove the coefficient pele, dia cancelana o shala ka x squared. But the reason why I get is because ke naka go bontsha the difference between a coefficient and an exponent. More na rena le coefficient le re ya multiply. To remove a multiplying number, range out divide. That's what I did. No rena le exponent, nka se divide. This means I'm gonna include the root. Ya eng ya 2. So dio cancelana then o shala ka x yela gago. So that's how you remove the exponent. And same applies to if ever only the quad root of I think of b, then when go shala ka b I get launch exponent ka root or launch root ka exponent. So you just raise this whole thing to the exponent of 5 gore do kgona go cancelana then o shala ka b ya gago.